Hello everyone and welcome to the Augmented Gaming Network. Today we're going to be doing the yellow phase. In the yellow phase we're going to be going over advanced gates and diodes not for gates, I already showed that, pulse limiter and Zand and Zor, which I won't be covering, sadly. We're going to go over the simple NOT as I was saying before. If you remembered on an AND gate, if we used a torch, we could invert it. That's all the inverter is. It's called a NOT. That's why. Same for here. It's a simple inverter. Right here, if I were to activate this, the redstone cannot travel down on glowstone. But if you power below and travel up, it'll power up. So it'll go through like that. So using that method, we can now power redstone up vertically. However, and sadly, we cannot power down because it won't go down. But powering up will actually go through the walls. You can see there's nothing connected, but it still goes through. Glowstone and half slab steps are the same type. If you place the half slab on the top, for example, you have to aim at the top area. If I were to aim down here, it wouldn't place correctly, and then you could not place redstone here because it has to be on the top of the block, like so. How it works is I can't power down like before, but I can power up like before as of glowstone. This is a diode. This is also a diode. The reason for this is that all a diode is simply you can power it one way and give it an input and get an output, or if you use the other end, you give it an input but there's no output. So for example, I can give an input and get an output. However, if I use this end, I can give an input but not get an output. So it can only go in one direction. We can also use this with repeaters with a small delay, about 1 redstone tick, which is about 2 Minecraft ticks. You can see it goes in this way, and we can't go this way. If you don't know how to place and use the repeaters, you can go see the first tutorial, the blue phase, for more information on that. Right here, we have ways that you can power the blocks. So right here, if I were to power that repeater, put it here, if I were to power this, the repeater is now powering this block, which powers this repeater, which powers this block. We could, in fact, have redstone go like this. However, we cannot have more than one, like so. That just won't work. Also, if we wanted a method to power it, you can actually take it on here and then do something like that. I can show you some cool things that we can do later on with that. This right here is a pulse limiter. And let me just explain what it does first. So that's actually a piston, and let me explain why and how it works. I'm going to actually put this in slow motion after I build it in speed. Okay, so let me explain what happens. So what really is going to happen is when this block is powered by this button that's impressed, it powers this repeater, which powers this block. But it's right next to a piston. The only problem is that the piston is facing the block that's powering the piston. So while the piston detects it gets powered, it's powering this repeater. But as soon as the piston activates, which is about 1 tick after it powers everything around it, the piston pushes up, disconnecting it. So if you look at this button right here, it stays on as long as the button. But if we look here, I'll put this in slow motion. I can actually do it this way. You can see this repeater gets a slight chance to enter in there. I also activated a piston right there. You can see it push. Another side note, this is a sticky piston, but with one tick pulse, it won't connect to it. So you can actually use this as a toggle latch. What I didn't get to cover is a flip-flop. There's multiple ways to make a flip-flop, but let's say we want this kind of function, except with a button. Well, the problem with that is the button will impress. So, let's say I want a toggle for a door. We'll use the door example again. So we're going to make a T flip-flop now. So I'm going to place my sticky piston here, and then I'm going to add another repeater and place my piston. We'll have an angle right here. There. Now, this will make it work. So actually put an iron door right here. There. Iron door. That goes nowhere. So what we wanted to do is, if you remember, the piston makes one tick pulse as a normal piston, but when it'll retrieve it too. So let's toggle it. So this pulsed fast, and you can see the piston going, and it retrieved it. See, we're looking right there. And every time it does that, if we were to push the toggle again, the block is now pushed. I can actually try it like that. And it opens our door that goes nowhere. So that's a similar way to make a flip-flop. One more flip-flop we can use. But this one is a little bigger, so I'm actually going to make an individual video on making flip-flops for making a T flip-flop. So that'll be it for this episode. I hope you see you in the next episode. Thanks for watching.